Hey friends, Kendall Matthews here, and one of the most important things that I want to know is who is in my circle of influence and what do they know and what's their background, especially when they're giving me recommendations. And so today I want to know who is Dr. Dennis Clark. So that's what we'll be discussing about today is who is Dr. Dennis Clark and his background, and we will go ahead and talk to him exclusively for the next about 5 minutes and get a better understanding about what is his journey as he's going through and working with people like myself who wants to get the most up-to-date research information about all these different ingredients that we're putting in our bodies. My name is Kendall Matthews, and I would like to introduce to you today Dr. Dennis Clark. Hey, doctor, how are you doing?
Oh, just great, Kendall. Thank you.
Hey, no, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Now, before we get into all the background of your journey through life, could you tell us what is your golf handicap today?
My golf handicap, I won't be sarcastic and say that it's golf. You put the number on it, and if people know what the scores are, today I shot 15 over par on a small 9-hole course. So not very good. Therefore, I do not tie my fun to my score. I enjoyed it anyway.
There you go. Well, I know that when we met a couple years ago, and what I really enjoyed about you is how clear, concise, and consistent you are with your research, and just being fun to be around and being very personable. So I really appreciate that, especially when I'm trying to figure out what are all these different scientific names and terms. And you are very, very good at breaking down all of that detail of scientific, long syllables, words, and like, man, what does this mean? You break it down for me very easily. So I appreciate that. So before we get into all the different things, tell us about you went to Purdue. No, I went to Purdue, of course, but you went to ASU. So
Right.
talk to us about ASU.
Okay, well, I started out my first job at ASU. And people say, why did I come to Arizona? It's because of all the job offer I got. See, that was singular. So I've been at ASU. I came here in 1976 directly from graduate school, which is the University of Texas. They had at that time the premier plant chemistry program in the country, and I had become very interested in plant chemistry. So I went there, got my doctoral degree, started working at ASU, and gradually used my background in plant chemistry to start understanding not just what's in plants and what they do, also how they affect human health. It became quite a party trick too, when you could sit around and I could say, that salad you're eating, let me tell you what's in it. And it was a lot of looks like you give me sometimes, like, oh God, long names, oh my gosh, I don't really care, I just want to eat my salad. Nevertheless, I think it's just really interesting to think about what kinds of chemicals there are in plants and the diversity that's out there. I only know a fraction of it because there are probably somewhere more than 300,000 kinds of plants that have been named. My specialty in flavonoids has determined probably 4,500 different chemical structures since the 1950s. So it's a pretty complicated area that I think is just fascinating, especially when we talk about what those ingredients in plants do when we consume them. And that's where I got into herbal medicine. Over the years, I started teaching an herbal medicine class at ASU. It was one of the most popular classes I had. I even had pre-medical students come in there, so that might be the only education they got in natural products medicine. It was very enjoyable, and once I retired, that became my specialty. I have more of an obsession, you might say, or a passion for studying plant chemistry and how that helps us get healthy and stay that way based on the herbs we either eat or we take as supplements. So basically, that's it in a nutshell. Over the years, I probably did enough research. I've published dozens of research articles in scientific journals on my specialty. They're not in a language that the common person will understand. It's by one scientist written for another scientist. Nevertheless, that's what we do at the university. And I mentored, hundreds of students in my research lab. So all that ended up being quite an enjoyable career. And now I am an herbal specialist.
An herbal specialist.
Yes.
So tell us about, what does that mean now?
What that means now is that with the research that's coming out, I really have to be able to understand what the primary research literature says about herbs, because a lot of people are now interested in various things that they want to take as supplements. They don't know what works, what doesn't. And it turns out the U.S. National Database, which is called PubMed, publishes articles on herbal medicine, the chemistry of herbs, probably hundreds a day. So over the last 50 years, I've found, depending on the topic, any one herb may have anywhere from 1,000 to even 10,000 different research articles published on it. So what that means to me in my background is I have to be able to understand the plant chemistry, which I do already, and enough of the science to see what the experimental design was for the medical research that determines how active it is, how good it is, how dangerous it is if it is or not, and what we can get out of it on a daily basis.
Understood. So anyone could find the research that you're looking at. Is just a lot more difficult for someone who does not have a scientific background to understand what they're looking at. Am I tracking you on that?
No, that's exactly the point. In fact, I used to only half jokingly say, well, I still half jokingly say, there's hundreds of thousands of research articles on herbal medicine over the past 80 years. You can find them if you know how to look. You can read them. However, if you want to understand them, you need to know a scientist. That would be me.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate you partnering with me and making sure that as I have that plant-based diet, and for myself and my family and a lot of my friends, it's very important to be able to break down all this information. So I thank you for that. And folks, if you want Dr. Dennis Clark to break down some things for you, go ahead and leave a comment in the section that you're looking at this video, and making sure that we are able to provide you the information that you need, because we're all in this together, so we only have one life, and we might as well just live it as long and as healthy as possible. And on behalf of Dr. Dennis Clark, my name is Kendall Matthews, and this is To Your Health. We'll talk to you soon.